Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys a bunch of eyeshadow palettes here in my collection. I'm not even sure how many I have sitting here on my desk. I didn't count them, but they're all monochromatic palettes. And I just wanted to share my love for these types of palettes that I have in my collection. I just did a video a little while back talking to you guys about the most unique color stories in my collection. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of do the opposite. Now, I know that not everybody likes monochromatic palettes or monochromatic looks, and I understand that, but I really do enjoy these types of palettes for a couple different reasons. Number one, they're usually pretty easy to put a look together with. You know what I mean? There's not tons of different like colored options that are confusing, or sometimes I don't even know where to begin. Like I'll open a palette up and there's all these different tones and shades and I'm like, I don't even know where to start here. But I don't think I've ever felt that way about a monochromatic palette. They're just easy to put a look together with. And what I really love about them too, the second thing I really love about them too, is that you can create such a beautiful gradient with a monochromatic palette, you know, light to dark, dark to light. And I love looks like that, you know, that just seamless blend from the light to dark. Love it. So I have a bunch of palettes here that I'm going to show you. I'm going to try not to just ooh and ah and go bazonkers over each palette, or we're going to be here for way too long. I know sometimes when I'm editing, I'm like, okay, rein it in. You don't have to gush over every single palette for 20 minutes. But I just really want to share these with you guys and talk to you about why I enjoy them. And I also would love to know what monochromatic palettes you have in your collection, which ones you just love, and why you love them so much. We can chat about that in the comment section. Okay, so I'm going to start off with what I have on my eyelids today. And the other thing I wanted to mention too about monochromatic palettes is that you can pull more than one into a look. You know, you can put 2, 3, 10, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to just stick with the monochromaticness of it, you can pull in a couple different options together, and that's what I did today. So I have some quads here from Juvia's Place. I got all 4 of the Rebel quads, and I'll start off with the 2 that I have on my lids today. I have the Honey, the Rebel Honey, and the Rebel Army. And these are just really cute. If I can open these up at the same time without hurting myself or anybody else. I just think these are gorgeous. I love the tones in this one and this one, both of them. But pulling these 2 together is really fun. I've done that a couple of times now and I really enjoy it. But I also think that these stand alone really well too. And because you have depth and light and dark and vibrant, you know, in both of these, I just think that's really fun. And both of these have very lovely quality. The mattes and the shimmers perform really well. I'm a huge fan of this brand. But yeah, I had a really fun time putting this look together with both of these quads. And then I have the other 2 that came in the set. This is the Rebel Grays, and this is the Rebel Mints. Now, these 2 are my least favorite of the quads. Not that there's anything wrong with them necessarily. It's just that, if I can open this, it's just the tones aren't necessarily my favorite. I mean, I don't know. They kind of are, but not, I don't know. These are just 2 that I don't really grab for a whole lot. I do like to put these together as well. They can stand alone. This one is just, you know, it's just a lot of light, a lot of vibrancy. And I do like to have some depth in my looks. I do. But if you're wanting just a very light pastel look, this is your girl. The shimmers in here are just beautiful. They're very duochrome, very dynamic. And this one is got some dynamicness and some bright in it as well. But I don't know. I think I've used this once by itself and this once by itself. I did a collab on Instagram with my dear friend Jazz, and we had a blast with it. But I would rather pull these 2 together. But you know, whatever floats your boat. If you're cool with using these by themselves, that's fine. But really good quality, you know, just like the other 2, really nice quality. The matte shimmers work really well. Then I have this beautiful little palette from Huda Beauty. This is the Emerald Obsessions, and I love green eyeshadows. And this is really fun because look at all the different tones you have. You have like the emerald greens, the olive greens. You know, this is kind of like a light, what is that, like light pea green or light grass green? I'm not always the best at describing colors. But this is one that you could, you know, use all the shades together if you wanted to, or you could do 1 shade, 2 shades, 3, you know. You got a lot of, even though it's a smaller palette, smaller compact little palette here, you do have a lot of really beautiful options and can do a lot of different things with this. Even though it's all green, you have varying shades of green and varying textures in here. And that's really fun. And this is a gorgeous palette. I really have enjoyed playing with this. Then I have this little one from Essence. This is the Ice Ice Baby. And I think this would be awesome for traveling. And I like this one because there's blues in here, but they're kind of like gray blue, kind of like smoky blue, you know? It's not like your typical blue little monochromatic palette, because these tones are just a little different than things I've seen in other blue monochromatic palettes. And there's silver in here, gray, you know, so, I mean, is this really a true monochromatic palette? I mean, I think it is. And it works really well. I mean, it's not the best performing palette in my collection. No, it's not. And I think it was like $3 or $4. So, you know, cheap, you know, and even though it's small, you can do, you know, handful of things with this. I just really like having it. And then we have the She's in Parties palette from Melt Cosmetics. I love the packaging. And this is just romance to me in a palette. Wine and kind of lavender pink and, you know, a really nice gradient of shades. This works really well. This really does work really well. There's another Melt palette, the Muerte palette, that I'm kind of like, does it work really well? I don't know. But this one, I've only used it the one time when Andy and I did our collab together, but I really enjoyed it. And I just love the different options in here. You can go very light, very dark, mix it up, whatever you want, but isn't that beautiful? I love those types of tones. Those colors are just stunning. Then I have one from Berry M. This is the Nude and Neutrals palette, and Nude and Neutral Rich palette, actually. And my dear friend Linda got this for me. She lives in Sweden. We met through Instagram, and she thought I needed to really try this brand, and I love this palette. It's very warm, very cinnamony. Everything works really well in here. The shimmers are very vibrant and that thick buttery texture. The mattes are very pigmented and they blend really well. And this is a brand that I would like to try a heck of a lot more of, but we can't get this here. I mean, they don't sell Berry M, I don't think, in the United States. I mean, I could have it shipped to me, but this is not a palette I'm going to go anywhere around here and go to a store and it's going to be sitting on the shelf. No. But this is one of my favorite warm tone palettes that I have in my collection. And I really need to use this again soon because it's lovely. Then we have the Grape Shot palette from You Can Be. I think I got this off Amazon, I'm pretty sure. Beautiful purple color story here. And you've got purples, light purples, lavenders, pinks, light depth. This shade is really funky. I don't even know what that is. It's like this oily, beady shade. I haven't tried that yet. I should try that and see what I think of it. I've used this a couple of times and really enjoyed it. And tons of different things you can do here. Tons of different things you can do here. And, you know, I like the fact that there's different tones of purple and pink too. Really fun. Just a wonderful, cheap palette. And then I have this one from You Can Be. This is the My Honey palette. I think this is a great dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette, which I do have that as well. I'm not pulling that in today. But I love the tones in here. Mustards, golds, light yellow, tan, neutrals, but with some really nice, vibrant pops of color in here too. This palette is super cheap and it works super well. I just want to spread the love for this brand because I really enjoy it. And then we have the Give Me Glow Juicy Olive palette. And this was gifted to me from Ash Makeup and Chaos. I don't know if they weren't using this palette or just weren't a big fan of it, but they said, I have this, would you like it? And I was like, yes. And we got to meet. That was last summer. And I've wanted to film with Ash since I met them, and we just haven't gotten around to doing that yet, but hopefully. Anyway, this palette is so beautiful. The olivey earthiness, grunginess of it, maybe not earthy, grunginess of it is what I just absolutely love about it. And everything works so well in here. The shimmers are stunning. The mattes are super pigmented and they blend out really well. And I like the depth. I like the lightness, the brightness, you know, like this shade right here is super bright. And then you got this really nice dark matte. And this is a brand that I want to try a bunch more of or from because I just think it's got just a stunning quality, stunning formula in this palette. Now I'm going to show you 4 of the 6-pan monochromatic palettes from Juvia's Place, starting off with the mauves. And I love this color story. I love mauves, and I love that you got the depth and the light, kind of muted options too here. This shimmer right here is absolutely stunning. It's kind of like gold and mauve mixed together. So beautiful. I will say that these 2 shades are kind of look similar. This one's a little bit deeper than that one, but that's the only drawback to some of these, couple of these 6-pan palettes. I got rid of the taupes and I got rid of the chocolates because I just felt like a lot of the shades looked very similar on my lids, and I thought this is just kind of a waste. I just wasn't reaching for them. But this one I used to reach for quite often, and I really like the quality, and I think those tones are gorgeous. And then we have the berries, which I love, obviously, or I wouldn't have it. But beautiful berry tones in here. You've got like pink and like true raspberry, cranberry. The shimmers in here are so beautiful. I do think it would be really fun to put these two together. I've never done that before, but look at them side by side. That would be really fun. I'm going to have to do that at some point, bring these two together. But beautiful quality, you know, matte shimmers, everything works really, really well. Then we have the violets from Juvia's Place. Just a really beautiful purple color story here. I have done a collab with Andy using this palette. She created one of the most beautiful halo eye looks with this palette I've ever seen. It was just blew my mind how gorgeous it was. And I just love this dark purple matte. It's probably, I think it is, well, it's in the top 5 of my dark purple mattes that I have in my collection. Just beautiful, very pigmented. It's not patchy, it blends well. The shimmers in here are beautiful, different range of purple shades, works well, just fun. And then I also have, my last one here is the Nubian Royal. And I just love the vibrancy in here. It's fun to have the violets and this palette together. I could use those together too. This shade right here is like a straight up disco ball. It's so reflecty and beautiful. It's kind of a glittery shade, but very finely milled. This shimmer shade is beautiful. I love this bright purple matte. It's small, but it definitely packs a punch and gives you a lot of different options. And now I have a bunch from ColourPop. I'm gonna start off with the Wild Child. I love the packaging, giraffe. And this is such a beautiful warm tone palette. Chocolatey, cinnamony. This shade right here I've mentioned before is just stunning. It's kind of like a pressed glitter, but not really, just more of a like a sparkly, but it's smushy. I mean, it's got a really cool consistency to it. And I love all these different tones. Very easy, I will say, to put a look together with this, and it works really well, so that's always a plus. And then I have Goin' Coconuts, and I love this palette too. I mean, I don't know why I keep saying that. Obviously, I love these palettes or I wouldn't have them. Really fun color story. And this you have light and dark. This shimmer right here is just wonderful. I haven't used this in a long time, but I was using it very consistently when I first got it, and I just need to pull it back out and have fun with it. I think this is going to be coming in one of my old school palette videos soon. This is old school, right? I've had this for at least a year, if not longer than that. Then we have That's Taupe. I love taupe shades, love taupey cool tone shades. And this palette is just a winner. Really beautiful formula in this palette. I know I've mentioned many times that sometimes ColourPop palettes, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Just doesn't work very well. This one works very well and very easy to put a look together. If I'm in a hurry, this is the palette I'm gonna grab, or one of the palettes I would grab, because it's just really easy to put a look together with it. Then we have Baby Got Peach. And I'm thinking about maybe doing this in a old school palette video too. I've had this for a long time. Now it does have this pesky press glitter here that I do not like. This is the one that got in my eye. Oh, that was just not fun. It was horrible. I'm like, am I gonna lose my sight? I mean, I'm not kidding. I was worried that like, it hurt so bad. And I didn't go to the doctor. I probably should have. I'm fine now, so get over it. But I was like, oh, this hurts. But I just love the tones. I love the brightness. This shade right here is that beautiful bright peach, this nice shimmer, bright, nice shimmer here. The light options too, but vibrant. You got some depth here as well. Really easy to put a look together with this. This is another one I'll grab if I'm in a hurry. Then we have Blue Moon, and this is just a solid, excellent staple for a blue palette in my collection. And I really want to do a palette, battle of the palettes, not palette bingo, battle of the palettes with this and another one I'm going to show you. I think that would be super fun to do that, battle this and the other one you'll see in a minute. But look at all the beautiful, vibrant options, the depth options, the light, you know, you can create such a beautiful gradient with the shades in here. And this is another excellent quality ColourPop palette. Love it. And then we have the High Tide, which Oakley sent to me for our makeup swap collab. And this color story is so beautiful. I love teals. And you've got, you know, the light depth in here too. You can create a really gorgeous gradient with this as well. And this is another one where the shadows are so beautiful that you could do a one and done, two and done. You know, these shadows can really do well just standing on their own. You don't have to put them all together if you don't want to. but another excellent quality ColourPop palette, of course. Then we have the Boston Celtics palette. Oh yeah, and I love green eyeshadows, and I love the Boston Celtics, so this fits perfectly in my collection. The only thing that I was a little bit like, huh, when I first opened the palette, or actually when I saw the picture of the palette, I was like, I don't need this shade, I don't need this shade in here. I would have loved for them to put just other green tones in here. But then I started thinking, well, maybe they were trying to mimic the color of the basketball. So stupid. My husband's like, I don't think that's what they were doing. They're just maybe trying to give you some neutral options so that you can use the greens and be more comfortable with it. My husband really pays attention to what I tell him when I talk about makeup. It's so funny. All three of these shimmers right here are stunning. Work really well together. This dark green matte is beautiful. It's pigmented and it blends well. It's not patchy. This shade right here is really deceiving. It looks white, but it's got this really like pretty kind of lime green reflect in it. I'm glad that I'm a sucker for gimmicky packaging at times, and I picked this up. And then I also got suckered by this one as well. This is the Dallas Mavericks palette. And I just think that this color story is really gorgeous. Look at all the cool different blues, but you got like green. This is kind of like a bluey green. You've got gray, you know. I don't know if this is a really true monochromatic palette, but everything works really well in this palette. And I have had a blast creating looks with this. This is another one I need to use soon. And then now I'm gonna finish off this monochromatic palette video with my Sweet Shop palettes from BH Cosmetics. Starting off with the Orange Sorbet. And I know these are no longer available, right? I don't think they are anymore. And like I've said in other videos, I don't really like to show palettes you can't just go out and get tomorrow or today or whatever, but these are in my collection and I'm thrilled that they are, and I have to share my love for them with you guys. And this is a gorgeous orange color story. You've got some kind of subtle or maybe muted options, some bright options, light, just a lot of cool stuff going on in here. And the formula of the Sweet Shop palettes is out of this world. The best formula that BH Cosmetics ever came up with. I stand by that statement. It's a bold statement. I'm standing by it. Gorgeous. Just kind of reminds me of like a bright summer day, you know, even though I'm really ready for summer to get the heck out of here. Okay. And then we have my favorite. This is the Pistachio Sweet Shop palette. And I just love green eyeshadows. I love all the different tones in here. Everything goes together so well. We have depth, we have light, we have bright, vibrant, deep, you know, all of it in one color, in one palette, you know, so cool. And then we have the Cotton Candy Sweet Shop palette. And I love all the different tones in here. I mean, this might be, well, no, it's monochromatic. I mean, I don't know. This might be the least monochromatic of the palettes I have of the Sweet Shop. You know what I mean? Because, well, it is. I don't know. I love the pinks, which is not my favorite color, but I love how these perform. This kind of like hot purple, this kind of periwinkle purpley, and then this lavender. Just stunning. Then we have, I'm making a huge mess here. Then we have the cherry on top. And look at how lovely this is. And again, depth, light, bright, dark, da-da-do-do-do. You got it all. 8 shades, 1 color, and you got a lot of different stuff you can do here. And the last one I have is the Sweet Shop Bubblegum. And this is the one that I want to battle against the Blue Moon palette. I think that'd be really fun to try that. And I love the sky blue, you know, like the true blue. Then we go deeper down here. This one's kind of almost like greeny blue. Same color, different tones. So again, tons of different stuff you can do, I think. Really fun. Let me pull it up against the Blue Moon palette. Let's just see. I've never like held them up together. Let me see what this is going to look like. Because I might hold these up together and say, oh, that's not going to work really. Oh no, yeah, it will. Oh yeah, okay. I'm sold. I gotta do this, you guys. I gotta battle these palettes against each other. See which one I like better, see which look comes out better. That's gonna be really fun. So those were the monochromatic palettes I pulled out of my collection today to show you in this video. Obviously, really, Erica, no kidding. There's a ton more I have. I mean, I have a ton of monochromatic palettes, but I don't know, these were just the ones that when I was thinking about, I don't know, the varying tones, varying options. I don't know, these are the ones I thought would work really well for this video. And like I mentioned, I would love to know what you guys have, or did I mention this? I would love to know what you guys have in your collection that's monochromatic, that you just love, that you really enjoy putting on your lids. Let me know if there's any monochromatic palettes that you like to pull together, because that is really fun, gives you more options, and you can just kind of be maybe a little bit more creative with that. And I would also love to know what you guys like or dislike about monochromatic palettes. We can chat about that in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I'd love to chat with you guys there. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy. I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.